And Mr. Chairman, we are ready to begin the meeting.
Steve Parrish, this is Ed McGuire. Chairman, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start off with a few housekeeping items. First, I would like to point out that the governor has issued an emergency directive 006, which allows for a public meeting to be held without a building. That emergency directive was issued on March 22nd, 2020, and was extended by emergency directives 10, 16, and 18. As a result, we're not providing a physical building for this meeting. The meeting is being live streamed on www.ccrfcd.org/stream.htm. Comments by the general public have been accepted via email at publiccomment@regionalflood.org. Those comments will be read if we receive any into the record at the comment period. With that, I'm going to start by reading a roll call. I'll call the member's name first. If I don't get a response, I'll call for the alternate. And then please respond when you hear your name. Starting with Keegan Luttrell.
I'm here, Steve.
Thank you, Keegan. Dennis Cedarberg.
Present.
John Salvi. The alternate Joe Leedy.
I'm here, Steve.
Thank you, Joe. Ed McGuire.
Sorry, I'm here.
Thank you. Mike Jansen.
Present.
Steve Ford. Steve Ford.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay. Travis Anderson.
Yes, I'm here.
And Dale Daffern.
Present, Steve.
We have 8 members, which does constitute a quorum. Just a reminder to all of the members on the phone that if you need to leave the meeting for whatever reason, please just interrupt the meeting and let us know that you're stepping off so that we get an accurate vote count when we do take a vote. When we call for a vote, we'll be asking you to just respond to the call for ayes and or nays. And if there's a nay, then we'll do a roll call vote. If it's all ayes and unanimous, then we'll move on to the next item. So with that, we'll move on to item number 1, which is comments by the general public. Tammy, have we received any comments?
Mr. Chairman, Tammy and Office Services Manager. For the record, there are no public comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Item number 2 is action to approve the agenda with the deletion of any items. The agenda is in order for approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Ed McGuire, I would motion to approve agenda as submitted.
There's a motion on the floor by Ms. McGuire. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 3 is action to approve the minutes of the April 30, 2020 meeting. The minutes are in order for approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Travis Anderson, move for approval of item 3.
Thank you, Travis. There's a motion on the floor for approval from Travis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Part 2 of the agenda is administration. Item 4 is action to accept the financial reports. The reports are in your backup. Happy to answer any questions if you have any. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Dale Daffern, North Las Vegas, motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve from Dale Dowfern. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 5 is action to adopt amendments to the 10-year construction program. These are amendments for fiscal impacts that occur later in the agenda. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Travis Anderson, motion to approve item number 5.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6 is action to accept the final accounting report and close out the interlocal contract for the following project: Hollywood Systems Dune South Detention Basin to Centennial Parkway Phase 1. This closeout will return $1,919,486.41. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Okay,
Dale Dowford, North Las Vegas, motion to approve.
Okay, I believe there's a motion to approve from Dale Dowfern. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Item 7 is action to approve an interlocal agreement among the City of Henderson, City of Las Vegas, City of North Las Vegas, Clark County Regional Flood Control District, Clark County Water Reclamation District, and the Southern Nevada Water Authority to establish funding allocations and the budget for the Las Vegas wash activities in fiscal year 2020-2021. This is an agreement we enter into every year with the members of the LOVWAC, the Las Vegas Valley Watershed Advisory Committee. This budget is administered by the Southern Nevada Water Authority on behalf of LOVWAC. There's a fiscal impact of $86,120. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Joe Leedy, move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve from Joe Leedy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Item 8 is action to approve the professional services agreement with HDR Engineering, Inc. for the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit compliance for Las Vegas Valley. This is an annual contract that we enter into with a consultant to help us with our National Pollutant Discharge Elimination permit compliance, so we stay in compliance with the Clean Water Act. HDR has been doing this work for us since the 17-18 permit year, so we're recommending to have them under contract for another year. The fiscal impact is $443,657. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Joe Leedy, move to approve.
Joe, there's a motion on the floor to approve by Joe Leedy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Item 9 is action to ratify an agreement between the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection and the Regional Flood Control District to fund the development of site-specific criteria for selenium in the Las Vegas wash. As we reported to you last month, we are working with NDEP to establish a new standard for selenium in the Las Vegas wash. We did request funding from Nevada Division of Environmental Protection. They're providing a $50,000 grant to help fund that effort. So this is a ratification of the agreement to accept that grant. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Joe Leedy, move to approve item 9.
Thank you, Joe. There's a motion on the floor to approve from Joe Leedy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Item 10 is receive the third quarter maintenance work program status reports for FY20 as submitted by the entities. The report is in your backup. Approximately 37% of the budgeted amount has been spent thus far through the third quarter, which is pretty typical for this time of year. It's pretty much matched that same percentage the last 3 or 4 years. So we're pretty much right on track in terms of the O&M program. This is just receive a report. There's no action required unless there's any questions or comments. Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is item 11, action to approve the budgets, plan, interlocal contracts for the fiscal year 2020-2021 maintenance work program. So we did review the budgets from each of the entities. The overall total budgeted amount is dropping from last year by 6.3%. I will just say that, as you all know, we're in some pretty tough financial times right now. And if there's any items that are kind of wish list items that you might have put in your budget, of course, we want to fund all the daily maintenance and critical items, repair and replacement. If it's mission critical, we want that to be done, and we will be certainly willing to fund that. But if you have any wish list items, for example, if you're wanting to put an access ramp in or something that can be deferred to the following year, we would ask that you do that and try to save some money. Any money that we can save on maintenance, we can put towards the capital programs. I just wanted to throw that out. And with that, staff would recommend that you approve the budget. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Steve Ford, City, Las Vegas, move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve by Steve Ford. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. That motion is approved unanimously. Item 12 is action to accept a report on the estimated funding schedule process. So again, as you know, we're entering into a downturn in the economy. We're expecting a pretty significant reduction in resources. There are a number of projects that are approaching 90% complete in design that we anticipate will be coming in for funding in the not too distant future. And it is likely that we won't have funding to fund all of those projects, which means that a waiting list will be created for funding of projects. That waiting list is called an estimated funding schedule. There are policies in our policies and procedures that define how to handle the EFS, how we work the EFS. And so I wanted to quickly go through the policies real quick to refresh your memories on how that is done. We've had a waiting list back in the 2008 recession, and I think we had one in 2003. So some of you that have been on the committee for a while are familiar with this, but others that are new to the committee may not be. So we wanted to run through how it works and just refresh your memories. If you have any questions or concerns, you can either ask now or you can follow up with, you can call or email me and we'll work it out. So I just wanted to quickly run through this item. When an entity has a project that's ready to be funded for construction, you'll go ahead and submit an agenda item just like you normally would with the construction funding interlocal and with the project presentation. We will date and timestamp that submittal as soon as we get it. And that date and timestamp is going to determine where you fall on the waiting list. So it's a first come, first served. The first projects in get on the list first. The project does have to be on the first 3 years of the 10-year construction program, which is required now. You do have to have 90% plans and specs complete. All of your right-of-way and right-of-entry needs to be in hand. All of your environmental permitting, including 404 permits and Section 8 analysis as necessary, would be required to be in hand as well. What we don't require you to have in hand is noted in the second to the last bullet there on the first page is all local, state, and federal permits. For example, if you have a dam safety permit or an NDOT encroachment permit, those items are not required to be in hand when you submit if you're going on a waiting list for funding. We recognize that if you go on the waiting list, you might be on that list for several months before the project's funded, and we don't want you to have a dam safety permit, too early. It's better to get those permits right before you go for construction funding and actually get funded. Similar to that, the temporary construction easements, we don't require you to have those in hand to get on the waiting list for funding. Again, those are time sensitive, and so that the temporary construction easements would need to be acquired before you actually get the project funded. But they're not required to get on the estimated funding schedule. So once all those requirements are met, the agenda item that's submitted in will be reviewed by staff. If it's determined that there's items missing that are required, then it'll be recommended to resubmit that project once those items have been obtained or completed, and then you'll get a new date and timestamp after that resubmittal. Once funds become available, then the lead entity will be requested to bring an agenda item forward for the funding of the interlocal contract. You'll have to demonstrate that if there's any items that weren't completed at the time of the original submittal, for example, TCEs or NDOT encroachment permits, etc., you'll need to demonstrate that you have those items now. And if you don't have those, then we'll ask you to come back the following month or when funding is available again, and we'll move on to the next project on the list that does have everything for funding, and we'll fund that project if funds are available. I should point out that if you're not changing the scope, or if you're not changing the cost of the project that was originally presented, then all you have to do is go to board. You do not have to go back through TAC and CAC for that. You only have to go through the full cycle if you change the cost or the scope of work. And so, the agenda item for that board funding is due the day before TAC, the TAC prior to the board meeting. So the last Wednesday of the month is the deadline to submit an agenda item in to go to the board for funding. If you have not changed the scope or the cost. So that's a little complicated. Let me just stop there and see if there's any questions at this point. Good, I explained it pretty well, I think. So also, there's a couple of tools available to you in the policies to get projects funded. The Entity Advanced Funding Program. What this basically entails is if you have a project that has been approved and is on the EFS and is waiting for funding, if the entity, for example, let's just say the county has funds available to fund that project, they can go ahead and provide the funding and go ahead and bid and build that project, and we'll enter into an entity advanced funding contract with the county, and then we'll repay the county once those funds are available. So it's basically the county would just be fronting, I'm using county as an example, but they'd be fronting the funding for that project, and then we would repay them at a later date. We'll only allow up to $40 million of entity advanced funding at any given time. And then resolutions to reimburse. This program is if you have any project that's on the 10-year, it could be any year of the 10-year program, but it has to be programmed on the 10-year. If you have another agency that is willing and able to fund the district's portion of a project, you can enter into a resolution to reimburse. And what that does is we enter into a contract and we repay that funding agency that provided the funding for the district in the year that the project comes up on the 10-year construction program. So with that, we are, as I mentioned, expecting revenues to become very tight here in the next few months. And I will point out that we did get a $200 million authority from our board to issue $200 million in bonds. In 2019, we issued 115 million of that 200 million remains. So that means 85 million is left in authority to issue bonds. We'll be monitoring that list, and we'll also be monitoring economic conditions. And if everything is fine, we will move forward with that $85 million issuance and try to fund those projects that may be on the waiting list for funding. And with that, I'll go ahead and call for any questions or discussions if you have anything. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 13. Action to adopt a prioritization of projects, 10-year construction program, and fiscal year 2020-2021 project list and take any action as deemed appropriate. We did prepare a presentation for you on the 10-year construction program, and that presentation is going to be provided by our engineering director, Mr. Todd Myers. So I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Myers. Make sure you unmute your computer and you can move forward when ready.
Okay, good morning. This is Todd Myers, Engineering Director with the Clark County Regional Flood Control District. And I'm here to present the 10-year construction program. I'm hearing some echo here. Is somebody not muted? That's better. For fiscal years 2021 through 2030. Before I get started, I just wanted to, I don't know why that moved there. Before I get started, I just wanted to, oh, okay, no, it automatically switched over there. I just wanted to thank everybody on this committee. Most of you are the ones that I worked with on the 10-year plan, along with your staff. I know there are a few hard decisions this year due to the COVID-19 budget, but I think we worked through everything. And I was, be honest with you, I was a little concerned about everybody working from home and getting this thing put together, but it came together pretty well. Not to mention that, I want to thank our in-house staff. This is always a team effort. Deanna Hughes, Deborah Yamachika, and Michael Todd for getting the maps together for us on this. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Just going to start with a little overview of the financial picture for the 10-year program. The 10-year construction program revenues are derived from a district's 0.25% sales tax revenues, interest revenues, and bond proceeds from the issuance of debt. This slide shows historic annual expenditures for the district and how the district spends the resources we receive. Note that approximately 94% of the resources are spent on design, construction, and maintenance of facilities. This chart shows sales tax revenue received from near inception, and I was going to say to date, but not to date, to February 2020. And that's a big distinction right there. So, you know, Southern Nevada's economy through February of 2020 included strong employment and population growth, robust consumer spending, increased personal income, and high taxable sales. But I'm afraid in the next few months, we're going to see a big dip at the end of this chart once we extend it on out to April-May timeframe. This slide provides a more detailed view of the sales tax, focusing on fiscal years 2018 and forward. The red bars represent actual sales tax revenue for fiscal year 2018 and 2019. The green bars represent our original budget for fiscal year 2020, as well as our projected sales tax for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Now, of course, since sales tax is the district's primary source of revenue, we are mindful the adverse changes in the economy will impact tax receipts, as shown in the chart for fiscal year 2020. We project sales tax revenues of $101.3 million. This is an anticipated decrease of approximately 9% from the original budgeted amount of $111.9 million. We anticipate the next several months, the local economy will start to recover from the effects of the COVID-19 shutdowns. As a result, we expect sales tax of $104.4 million, just a slight increase from in fiscal year 21. This graph represents the total estimated resources for the upcoming 10-year period. The blue bars represent the pay-as-you-go funding, or the resources available after all our previous obligations have been met. These funds go to the capital improvement program. The red bars represent anticipated bonds of $100 million each in years 4, 7, and 10. These estimates were used to program projects in the 10-year program. The total of all bonding, previous year carryover, and pay-as-you-go money is approximately $807 million. Now, this chart shows the prorated share of funding that each entity receives to program against. Percentages are calculated based on the dollar amount of the remaining facilities to be built in each respective area, compared to the total dollar amount of all remaining facilities left to be built in the entire plan. We update these percentages every 5 years with the Las Vegas Valley Master Plan update. So these percentages will remain in effect until the 2023 MPU. Annually, during the review and development of the 10-year construction program, master plan projects are reviewed and prioritized based on the 10 criteria shown here. The 4 in bold on the left are considered to be the more important criteria and weighted heavier in the prioritization matrix, with the 2 on top, population effective and assessed land value impacted, are the most important for the protection of life and property. Now, this next group of slides will highlight the first year eligible projects on the proposed 10-year plan. Note the red star on the slide. It represents the location of the Spaghetti Bowl interchange as a point of reference. Anytime the interchange is shown on the slide, the red star will appear to help locate the project. The Pittman Wash and C1 planning areas are managed by the City of Henderson. Now, this map is of the Pittman planning area. Note the legend located at the top right-hand portion of the slide. The blue lines on the map represents completed projects or projects under construction on the master plan. Red lines are facilities which are proposed on this 10-year plan. If there's an oval around a red facility, it means it's eligible to be funded in the first year of the 10-year program. Construction projects which are programmed in the first 3 years of the 10-year plan are first year eligible once all the prerequisites for funding are met. The green lines represent facilities which are proposed beyond the current 10-year plan. Now, there are 2 projects that are first year eligible in the Pittman planning area. Starting with the Whitney Wash Channel. This is a channel replacement project that extends from the downstream Duck Creek Channel at Stephanie to the upstream Whitney Mesa Estates Channel. It will increase the conveyance capacity and replace the failing concrete trapezoidal channel with rectangular concrete channel and reinforced concrete box culvert. Next, the Galleria to Sunset project is a developer participation project that will collect flows in Burns Avenue and convey them north to the existing Wisner Channel near Burns Avenue and Galleria Drive. The City of Henderson has 2 first-year eligible construction projects totaling $16.9 million and a 10-year plan total of $53.2 million. The City of Las Vegas manages the Gowan, Central, and Upper Northern planning areas. We have 1 construction project that's first year eligible in the central planning area. That's the Cary Lake Mead detention basin outfall. This project consists of a 48-inch diameter reinforced concrete pipe outlet from the Cary Lake Mead detention basin connecting to the existing storm drain in Cary Avenue. Three construction projects are first year eligible in the Gowan planning area. 2 of these projects are located within the Gowan-Alexander Road system, starting at the downstream end with the storm drain in Alexander Road from Simmons Street to Decatur Boulevard, which will be followed by the upstream segment from Decatur Boulevard to Rancho Road. Both projects are currently under design. To the northwest, we have the Gowan North El Capitan branch. This is the second phase of the El Capitan branch, which will extend the storm drain north in El Cap from Ann Road to Centennial Parkway. The first phase from Lone Mountain Road to Ann Road was just recently completed. And in the upper northern planning area, we have 1 first-year eligible construction project. That's the Brent Drainage System, Durango to O'Hare project, which consists of an 8x6 reinforced concrete box culvert in Brent Lane from Durango Drive to El Capitan, and a 12x7 reinforced concrete box storm drain in El Cap from Brent Lane to O'Hare Avenue. The City of Las Vegas has 5 construction projects and 4 design projects that are first year eligible, totaling $57.9 million, with a 10-year plan total of $251.5 million. The Lower Northern, Range Wash, Apex, and Lower Las Vegas Wash planning areas are managed by the City of North Las Vegas. There are 2 projects first year eligible in the Lower Northern planning area, starting with the Lake Mead Drain to Las Vegas Wash project, which includes the reinforced concrete box storm drain system in Lake Mead Boulevard from the Las Vegas Wash Middle Branch confluence at Pecos Road to just east of the Civic Center Drive. Just north of that in Las Vegas Boulevard is the Las Vegas Wash Cartier Channel, which is a combined RFCD and RTC project that includes concrete channel improvements along the Cartier Avenue alignment from the Las Vegas Wash to Las Vegas Boulevard, and a reinforced concrete box storm drain in Las Vegas Boulevard from Cartier Avenue to Lake Mead Boulevard. 2 construction projects are first year eligible in the Range Wash planning area, starting in the south with the Orchard Collector Charleston to Linden project, which consists of a soil cement lined levee that extends south from Linden Avenue alignment to the Charleston Boulevard along the base of Sunrise Mountain. This facility collects flows from the east and conveys them south to the Orchard Detention Basin. And to the north, design is nearing completion on the Hollywood system, Centennial Parkway to Speedway number 2 detention basin. This project will convert an existing retention basin into a detention basin by providing an outfall facility from the basin to Centennial Parkway. The City of North Las Vegas has 4 construction projects, 2 design projects, and 1 right-of-way project that are first year eligible, totaling $34 million, and a 10-year plan total of $163 million. The Duck Creek Blue Diamond, Flamingo, and Tropicana washes, as well as the Clark County outlying areas, are managed by Clark County. The Tropicana Flamingo planning area includes 4 first-year eligible construction projects, starting with the Airport, Naples Channel, and Peaking Basin project, which is currently in design and includes a Peaking Basin, outfall, and open channel improvements from Tropicana Avenue to Harmon Avenue. South of there, we have the Wagon Trail Channel, Sunset to Tico, which is a missing link project that consists of a storm drain in Procyon Street, extending from existing facilities in Sunset Road to an existing facility in Tico Avenue. Next, we have the Flamingo Wash, Maryland Parkway to Palos Verde project. This project consists of open channel improvements of 2 segments of the Flamingo Wash, first from Maryland Parkway to Cambridge Street and from Swinson Street to Palos Verde Street. And to the east is the Las Vegas Wash Branch 2 project, which consists of replacing 3 existing bridge structures along Flamingo Road, one at Jimmy Durante Boulevard, next at Canal Street, and an existing driveway west of Canal Street. It also includes a 6x4 reinforced concrete box storm drain in Flamingo Road from Nellis Boulevard to Boulder Highway. There are 3 first-year eligible construction projects in Duck Creek Blue Diamond planning area, starting with the Blue Diamond Channel 2 Decatur, LeBaron to Richmar project, which will be constructed as part of an RTC roadway project and includes a collection system in Decatur Boulevard that will tie into the Silverado Ranch detention basin. North to the Robindale Road alignment, the Blue Diamond Wash project picks up the outfall pipe from the lower Blue Diamond detention basin and extends it east from Arville to the I-15 within Robindale Road. To the southeast, the Duck Creek Blue Diamond, Bermuda to Las Vegas Boulevard, is located just south of Windmill and includes open channel and storm drain improvements from Bermuda Road to Las Vegas Boulevard. We have 4 projects located in the Clark County outlying areas, starting in Good Springs with the Good Springs Phase 1 project. This includes open channel improvements along Pacific Street, a reinforced concrete box storm drain in Revere Street, and open channel improvements along an alignment north of Main Street from Revere Street, ultimately discharging to undeveloped land to the east. In Logandale, we have the Fairgrounds Detention Basin, which is located upstream of the county fairgrounds property and with an outfall along Whipple Street discharging to the Muddy River. In Searchlight, we have the West State Highway 164 project, which includes reinforced concrete box storm drain in State Highway 164, extending approximately a half a mile west from US 95. And in Bunkerville, we have the Just Wyatt Wash Diversion Dike, which will upgrade the existing dike to direct runoff from the south to the existing downstream Windmill Wash Detention Basin. Clark County has 11 construction projects, 3 design projects, and 3 right-of-way projects that are first-year eligible, totaling $88.3 million, with the 10-year plan total of $254.2 million. And in the city of Mesquite, we have the Mesa Boulevard, El Dorado to Town Wash project, which includes concrete channel improvements within the I-15 corridor extending northeast from the Town Wash, and then a storm drain extending north to the intersection of Mesa and El Dorado Road. The city of Mesquite has 1 first-year eligible construction project totaling $8 million and a 10-year plan total of $27 million. This is a 10-year plan summary broken out by entity. Note that out of the estimated $807 million in revenues for the 10-year period, we have approximately $758.5 million or 94% programmed. We have a total of $128 million programmed in year 1. If all these projects were to come forward and we had money to fund them, this would create or sustain approximately 1,500 jobs. Now, this is the downer slide. This slide provides a comparison between last year's 10-year plan and this year's 10-year plan, based on district's FY 2021 budget and projected economic impacts resulting from the COVID-19 shutdown. Note that all the first year as well as total plan estimated resources are significantly reduced. At this point, it's not known what the short or long-term impacts of the shutdown will be. District has always taken a conservative approach when funding projects and ensuring that adequate revenues will be available to complete those projects. And as discussed earlier, the majority of our revenues go directly to the capital improvement program to fund flood control projects. The advantage to this is that we will have ability to meter these projects as they come forward for funding. If funding isn't available for the project at the time of the funding request, it'll be put on the estimated funding schedule until funds are available. Back to better news. This is a summary of the master plan to date and where we stand and with the 10-year plan. To date, the master plan has 880 total miles of conveyance facilities, 661 miles of which are completed. 64 miles are included on this plan. That will leave 155 miles remaining. The current master plan also includes 141 detention basins. 102 are complete, 7 are proposed on this 10-year plan, and once completed, we'll leave 32 remaining. So essentially, the master plan is roughly 75% complete. And once the facilities are completed on this 10-year plan, we will be close to 81% complete based on the current MPU. And that concludes the presentation. Be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, staff would recommend you adopt the prioritization of projects 10-year construction program and the fiscal year 2020-2021 budget project list. Any discussion? Entertain a motion?
Ed McGuire, motion to follow staff's recommendation.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve from Ed McGuire. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Todd. Part 3 of your agenda is design and construction. Item 14 is action to approve the supplemental interlocal contracts for construction and design to extend the project completion date for the following projects. Item 14A is second supplemental Pittman North Detention Basin and Outfall Phase 3, City of Henderson. Item 14B is sixth supplemental Las Vegas Wash Sloan Channel to Bonanza and Flamingo Wash below Nellis Boulevard, Clark County. Item 14C is third supplemental Good Springs Phase 1, Clark County. These are all just extensions of time. There's no fiscal impact. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Ed McGuire, motion to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Item 15 is action to approve the supplemental interlocal contracts for design to change the names of the projects and extend the project completion dates for the following projects. Item A is second supplemental Flamingo Wash UPRR to Hotel Rio Drive, formerly known as Flamingo Wash Industrial Road to Hotel Rio Drive, Clark County. And item B is fifth supplemental Fairgrounds Detention Basin and Outfall, formerly known as Fairgrounds Detention Basin, Clark County. These are also extensions of time as was the previous item, and we're also changing the names of these two contracts to better fit what's actually being designed. Staff recommends approval. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Dennis Cedarburg, move for approval.
Thank you, Dennis. There's a motion on the floor to approve from Dennis Cedarburg. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries. Item 16 is action to approve the supplemental interlocal contracts for design to increase funding for the following projects. Item A is second supplemental Silverado Ranch Detention Basin and Outfall Facilities, Clark County. Item B is fourth supplemental Airport Channel, Naples, Clark County. Item A is a supplement to increase funding for the design interlocal with a fiscal impact of $80,000. This is increasing funding for design and for entity labor. Also, the item 16B is a supplement also for Clark County to increase with a fiscal impact of $510,000. This is to fund additional design work on Tropicana and also for entity labor. Staff recommends approval of item 16A and B. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Dennis Cedarburg, move for approval.
Thank you, Dennis. There's a motion on the floor for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries unanimously. Item 17 is action to approve the supplemental interlocal contracts for construction and design to decrease funding and extend the project completion date for the following projects. Item A is third supplemental Centennial Parkway Channel West, CC 215, Pioneer Way to US 95, City of Las Vegas. Item 17B is fourth supplemental Centennial Parkway Channel West, CC 215, Pioneer Way to US 95, City of Las Vegas. These two projects have completed construction. This item increased or extends the project completion date to allow for closeout. In the meantime, the city has agreed to reduce the project funding on both of these contracts while they're waiting for the finalization of the closeouts. So we appreciate them reviewing that and returning this funding so it can be used for other projects. Staff recommends approval of items 17A and B. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Steve Ford, City of Las Vegas, move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor to approve from Steve Ford. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Thank you. Item 18 is comments by the general public. As we noted earlier, the public was allowed to submit comments via email to public comment at regionalflood.org email address. Tammy, was there any comments?
Mr. Chairman, Tammy McMahon, for the record, there are no public comments.
Thank you. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. I just want to remind the members to stay logged into this meeting for the start of the RTC EAC meeting. And that should start in about 5 minutes or so once we transfer out. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for accommodating us on this virtual meetings. I know they can be tedious, but we got to do what we got to do. So thank you all, and talk to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.